Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. Back for another live show. It's Friday. It's definitely been a busy couple of days, busier than the previous weeks in our transfer window for sure. Have we gotten the positions that we want yet? Not quite yet, but we have been making some moves and we have been making some a couple of pushes for the big players that we want. So let's get through every single update that we've gotten today in regards to a couple of players that we've been linked to since yesterday and a couple of done deals and all that. And let's start with Zubimendi and Fabrizio's update on him. With Zubimendi or with Martin Zubimendi, everything is done. The contract is signed. The medical is okay. So this one is pretty much a done deal. I still saw some people saying, you're not sure yet. He hasn't been confirmed yet, but no. The time he came to England, he did his medical. He's already passed his medical. The only reason he couldn't announce it is because Real Sociedad wanted it to be announced in July, I guess. So I think July 1st, July 2nd, we'll see the announcement of Martin Zubimendi. Everything is done there. And obviously, we know he's going to be replacing Partey in that position as a starter. So it's already welcome to us for Martin Zubimendi. I mean, his number has already been confirmed as well. He will be wearing the number 36. So that is our most expensive signing so far. Up until we get a striker and other forward players, this is our most expensive signing of the summer so far, Martin Zubimendi. Everything's done as Fabrizio has confirmed. Contract signed, medical is okay. So nothing to worry about there. Zubimendi is an Arsenal player. Let's hope Arsenal confirm it as soon as possible. Hopefully, we don't have to wait another couple of weeks before it's confirmed. So I'm sure he's going to be a starter for us next season. Let's see how he does in pre-season, and hopefully he settles in as quickly as possible, because we know that position, it's not a joke. Your midfield has to be very, very good, especially obviously replacing Partey, who's been here for 5 years. All the best to Martin Zubimendi. So nothing too much to talk about on that. He's passed his medical. Let's go to the next story, and that is on Norgaard. What's the latest on Norgaard? So Fabrizio says Cristhian Norgaard initially wanted to stay at Brentford, but said yes immediately when Arsenal called, viewing it as an opportunity of a lifetime. So Norgaard wanted to stay at Brentford. Tottenham wanted him. They were told 45 million, so that is crazy. But literally a week later, Arsenal inquired about him, and we are going to get him for very, very cheap money. We've already gotten a here we go for Cristhian Nørgaard. He's going to be between 10 and 12 million. So he's going to be a backup player. I don't expect him to be starting too many games, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does start a few games. What I would expect with Nørgaard is those games where, we are leading 1-0, 2-0, wouldn't be surprised to see Norgaard coming on, maybe for an Odegaard to have a solid midfield two, maybe with Rice and Norgaard. Or I wouldn't be surprised to see Norgaard coming on for Zubimendi to just show things up in the last 20 minutes of the game. So sometimes maybe he starts, and Zubimendi gets rested, or he starts and Declan Rice gets rested. I'm definitely I still want us to get a striker and a left winger fast, obviously, for the excitement to be up here, but I'm excited to see how our midfield will look next season with all these players: Zubimendi, Rice, Merino, Norgaard. Will Lewis Skelly feature in midfield? How often will Odegaard start next season? Especially if we get someone like an Eze, how often will he feature in that position? Neri, how often is he going to feature in the midfield position? Max Daumann, the youngster coming through, how often will he play next season? All those, I'm really looking forward to see how we are going to fit our midfield next season. So Fabrizio confirmed that Cristhian Nørgaard initially wanted to stay at Brentford, but said yes immediately when Arsenal called, and the price is very cheap. I know it's not an exciting signing for all 80% of the fans, fair enough. The exciting signings would be players like Gyokeres, but I think it's a sensible signing. It's cheap, and we get more options in midfield. What I would have hated even more is if you had let Partey go and not signed anyone and just had Zubimendi to replace both Partey and Jorginho. No, we need to have enough players next season, and Norgaard is a player that you can see starting in the cup games and starting in Premier League games and coming on, and all that. So excited about excited, the kind of excited I mean, like just excited to see how he's going to fit in at Arsenal. Not excited like we the way we signed Ozil or something like that, but all the best to him. Let's see how he does at Arsenal. This as well. Fabrizio also said, can you imagine in the Arsenal squad at this moment, there is not one player over 30 years of age? That is crazy, by the way. We actually don't have anyone apart from Norgaard who's going to join now. But at this very moment today, we don't have any 30-year-old in our squad. That shows how good the project is, but you also need to add experience. So Cristhian Nørgaard is seen as the perfect player. Arsenal has been very fast in the negotiation, and they're going to pay 11 million euros plus add-ons. So that's like 8 million plus add-ons, so around 10 million, 11 million pounds. He sees Arsenal as the opportunity of a lifetime. He always wanted to stay at Brentford, but when Arsenal called, Norgaard said yes immediately. So that's great. We love to see players who are happy to join the club, who are happy to we use the word project, but yeah, to join whatever is going on at Arsenal. Let's just say that he loves. He wanted to join that. He wanted to be part of that, and he's a leader. He's the captain of Brentford. He's been the captain of Brentford ever, I think, since Tony left. So he is a leader. He will be now our most experienced player, our oldest player at Arsenal the moment he joins. So that will be interesting. So let's see how it does. Let's hope it does help in the leadership aspect at Arsenal. Will we see him captaining Arsenal at some point next season, 1 game or 2 games? I'd say maybe there's a 30% chance we might see Norgaard having the captain's armband on the pitch, maybe in the Carabao Cup match or FA Cup when Saka is not there, when Odegaard is not there, when Rice is not there, maybe when Gabriel is not there. Maybe we'll see Norgaard wearing the captain's armband. I don't know if it's going to be given that early even for 1 game. But yeah, he's a leader, he's a captain, he's an international player as well. So let's see. So all the best to Cristhian Norgaard. So that's the quick updates on Zubimendi and Norgaard. Let's go. There's a lot of them from Fabrizio and a couple of other journalists as well. Let's go to Mosquera. According to Ryan Taylor Sport, Valencia understood to have rejected Arsenal's opening offer for Cristhian Mosquera. I don't know how much the offer was, around maybe 15 million or something, 16 million. So obviously they are never going to accept that. You're going to have to give them the second bid and third bid for them to accept. I am very confident Mosquera will be an Arsenal player because that price, I think it will be easier to negotiate, and he's happy to join Arsenal and Valencia, happy to sell. So those kind of deals are not usually that hard to do, and he's going to come and be a backup for Saliba, right-footed player. We don't have too many of those because the ones that we buy usually end up playing fullback, Timber and White and all those guys, but they rejected the first offer. So let's go to the next update on him. That is from Fabrizio as well. Arsenal behind the scenes have been working very well on Cristhian Mosquera. My understanding is that the player wants to go to Arsenal and he sees Arsenal as the perfect opportunities for his career. So this is really good, hearing all these players want to join us. You have to compete with Gabriel, with William Saliba, but what I'm hearing is that Mosquera is not scared of this. Things you'll have to hear. He's not scared of competing with Gabriel and Saliba. We've been telling him that Gabriel and Saliba are the best defenders in the world. Mosquera does not care about that. Mosquera wants to come to Arsenal and maybe take over that position. Mosquera is not scared. So that is great to hear as well. He wants to be there. My feeling is that for around 20 million to 25 million euros, Arsenal can get this deal done. So between 18 to 20 million pounds, you're going to get this deal done. So I'm sure by the second offer, I don't think it's even going to get to the third offer, Mosquera will be an Arsenal player. So I don't think this will carry on for too long. I think by the weekend they're going to get a here we go, and it's going to be done very, very quickly. Yeah, he wants to join Arsenal, but I'm sure there will be some other teams that are trying to get him, even from Spain, the Villarreals and the Sevillas, and maybe the Atletico Madrids and those kind of teams, and maybe a couple from England. So Arsenal are rushing to get it done before focusing on the other positions. So for Mosquera, I don't think it's going to take that long. It's going to be a done deal very, very soon, and he will officially be our 4th signing of the transfer window. Who will be announced first by Arsenal? I don't know. I feel like they're going to announce Kepa first, and then they're going to announce Zubimendi second, and then probably Norgaard third, and then Mosquera to follow. However they announce it, though, yeah, they're going to be announced very, very quickly, like in terms of like within 7 days. I think all of them will be announced starting from July. So that will be our 4th official signing, or maybe it'll be the first one to be announced. Who knows? But Mosquera, we still need to make a second bid and see if Valencia is going to are going to accept it. So the news came from Hand of Arsenal yesterday. Fabrizio confirmed it. David Onsin confirmed it. So I think it's going to happen. Considering the price, I don't think Arsenal will go to a different target who's going to cost more than 50 million in terms of a price. So we don't need to pay that much money for a defender. So I am very happy for us to pay 20 million for a backup defender. That is a good price. I didn't want us to go and start paying 50, 60 million for Housen, or 30 million for Juan Garcia, the goalkeeper. I didn't want us to spend that kind of money in those positions. So next up, this is what Fabrizio's had to say. So we've said Kepa is done, Zubimendi is done, Norgaard is done, Kepa's already done his medical, passed it. Who else has passed his medical? Zubimendi has already done his medical, he's passed it. Norgaard is about to do his medical as well. And after we agreed, Mosquera is going to come and do his medical as well. That will be 4 signings. But yes, we wouldn't say like those are the exciting signings that we are looking for. I'm happy with the signings, very cheap backup players. We need squad players. I wasn't just looking at getting a striker and a left wing and that is it. No, I wanted us to get a striker, a left wing, and I really wanted us to improve the squad depth of our team. I didn't want us to sell too many players, and I want us to add to that so that we have like around 25, 26 players in this team and not 16 or 17. 4 injuries, 2 suspensions, you're done. Everyone has to play 90 minutes even in the Carabao Cup. We don't want that. So how many more are we expecting? So Fabrizio says, get ready, Arsenal fans. It's been a busy summer already, and the best is yet to come because Arsenal want to do way more. So in terms of numbers, we can actually cross the 5 signings that I was expecting Arsenal to make, and we might actually end up crossing the 6 signings I wanted. 6 or 7, because I said if you get another attacking midfielder and a winger, it's going to be 7. But we might actually have like 7 signings in one transfer window, which is crazy. I don't think, when was the last time Arsenal had 6, 7 signings in a transfer window? I don't think it's any time recently, man. I think it's a long time ago. I don't think the Torreira one and the Guendouzi one, we got to that, maybe 5 or something. Even the one that we got at Sen Matasaki, it was like 5. When was the last time Arsenal made 7 signings in a transfer window? If anyone knows, let me know in the comments. It's been long, but I think we're actually going to get to those kind of numbers, 6, 7 signings. So that will be a big congratulations to Partey. If we end up getting the strike and the left wing and all these signings done, it will be massive. So yesterday, I think it was Hand of Arsenal who said people have been very quick to judge Andrea Partey. Fair enough. We want to hold our standards up here. That is okay. But he had a lot to do. Like, he was given a lot to do. When he was given the job back in February, March, he had a lot to do. He was told, listen, you have to find a way to talk with Gabriel, give him a new contract, talk to Saliba, talk to Saka, talk to Trossard, talk to Martinelli, talk to Nwaneri, talk to Lewis Skelly, try and talk to Partey as well. Like 8, 9 players that we need to talk in terms of new contracts. That is hard because, you know, Saliba is being linked to Real Madrid. Gabriel, there's no guarantee he was going to stay. Partey, there was no guarantee he's going to stay. Now he's going to leave. We know that. Lewis Skelly is wanted by Real Madrid. So all these players, there's no guarantee like all of them are going to stay, but there's a good chance like we keep at least 80, 90% of them. So in terms of contract, it's a hard job to do. And then we also gave him the work of, you know, not Lewis Skelly, Nelson, Fabio Vieira, sort out all these guys. And then the new signings that we need, sort out all of these things that we need to do. So we gave him a lot of work to do, and I don't know how quickly Ed would have done this job, but it's great to see that we are actually we are making moves. It seems like we've been moving slow, but at the end of this week, we're the team that is going to have the most signings out of any other teams. Have we sorted out the position that we want mostly? Not yet, but in terms of overall signings, by next week, we'll have 4 signings. I think that will be more than anyone else, plus giving Gabriel and Lewis Skelly new contracts. So that is good. And there's been departures as well. Sterling has left. Neto has left. Nuno Tavares has left as well. Anyway, we're getting like 5 million for him. And then there's TNU who's left as well, and Partey's leaving as well. So there's been like 12 or 13 movements already. So it's not been that quiet because it has always seemed like it's been quiet. But Fabrizio said, get ready, Arsenal fans. It's been a busy summer, and yet the best is yet to come. So what does it mean by the best is yet to come? So let's go to the next piece of news from Fabrizio, and that is on Gyokeres and Sesko. So we are hoping it's going to be one of these guys, and this is what is hard to say. Arsenal have ongoing daily conversations with both Benjamin Sesko and Viktor Gyokeres. The Gunners would like to reduce RB Leipzig's requested fee for Sesko, while also trying to find Sporting CP's final price for Gyokeres. So as we were told on Monday, this is a game of chicken. I'm sure the reason why we've not gotten one of them is because of money. I am sure Arsenal wanted Sesko, but the reason we've not gotten him is because of money. So they're trying to also keep Gyokeres in the room, just in case the Leipzig negotiations don't go right. We can still get Gyokeres. I am sure they wanted Sesko, but they didn't get Sesko yet because of the money. I don't think this is a case of they don't know who they wanted to get. I'm sure they knew who they wanted to get, but because of the money, they are waiting to see who's going to be cheaper. Now, should you be waiting for who's going to be cheaper? Probably not. You should be going for who we want right away. But again, if that money allows you to bring players like Eze and players like that, I'm happy to do that, as long as it doesn't carry on to preseason, as long as we have the player before preseason. Hopefully, so it's a case of Sporting is waiting for Arsenal to badge. Leipzig are waiting for Arsenal to budge, but Arsenal are like, no, you're not going to bully us. We're also going to wait for you to reduce the money. Both of you, Sporting and Leipzig, whoever reduces the money first, we are going to you're going to pay that. And there's obviously a bit of politics going on in Sporting and Gyokeres, and a bit of stuff behind the scenes going on, like Sesko following Arsenal, and Gyokeres telling his friends on podcasts that he wants to join Arsenal, and Arsenal saying that, majority of the management team and board really want Sesko instead of Gyokeres. But if Sesko's price doesn't go down, they're going to go for Gyokeres because Gyokeres also wants to join Arsenal. There's a lot going on there. So I think Arsenal know who they want to get, but the money is the thing. I think we're going to get the one who's going to end up being cheaper. So if Sesko is 70 million and Gyokeres is 60 million, I think you're going to end up with Gyokeres. If Gyokeres is 60 million and Sesko is 60 million, I think you're going to end up with Sesko. That's how I'm thinking it's going to go. A majority of us wanted Gyokeres. I've always wanted Gyokeres since last season. I'd be very, very over the moon, way over the moon if we got Gyokeres. But at this point, obviously, you also sit down and you think, okay, can you just get me a striker? Because we don't want to lose out on both. Just get me a striker. So hopefully, by the time we get before preseason, we've already gotten our striker, and we've won the game of chicken. Because the game right now is that we're playing a game of chicken. Who's going to move fast? Is it going to be you, Leipzig? Is it going to be Sesko pushing for a move away? Is it going to be Gyokeres pushing for a move away? Who are we going to get? Is Man United going to get the other? Is Chelsea going to get the other? Is Liverpool going to get the other? Is the other going to stay at their team? All that still needs to be sorted. So that is Fabrizio's update on that. Arsenal have ongoing daily conversations with both Benjamin Sesko and Viktor Gyokeres. As I told you guys, I think it's still going to carry on until next month, until one of them drops the prices, until one of them becomes desperate, or maybe until Arsenal become desperate and you feel like, oh my goodness, it's 5 days before preseason, let's just get it done. It's going to be one of those. Or if we end up getting a player like Eze for cheap and then we have enough money to get whoever we want between the two, then we're going to go for it. So that is how I think it's going to be. Speaking of Eze, we talked about him yesterday. Eze has agreed to join Arsenal. Eze has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. Eze wants to join Arsenal more than he wants to join Tottenham. So it's up to Arsenal to decide whether they really want Eze, or they really want to wait for Rodrygo, or they want to wait for other wingers. It's up to Arsenal. So this is what Gary Jacobs had to say today. Arsenal are stepping up their pursuit of a premium winger with Eberechi Eze on the shortlist. The Englishman has a release clause of 60 million, but there are complications around the required payment structure, meaning it wouldn't be a simple deal. So yesterday we were told by Ben Jacobs and there was someone else that it's our teams and ticks as well. They say that Eze's deal or Eze's fee can be paid in 3 installments plus 8 million in add-ons. So this 68 million, you can pay 20 million right now, and then you pay 20 million next year, and then 20 million the following year, and then 8 million in add-ons. Now, if that is the correct structure that Crystal Palace want, I think you have to go and get the player. That is very cheap for a Premier League experienced player who's very good at goal contribution, scoring goals, assisting, playing. He can play in 3 different positions. He can play for you as left wing. He can play for you as the number 10. He can play for you as the number 8. Like, having a player like Eze or Rodgers was the player that I wanted. My list was Rodgers and then Eze. But as I said yesterday, I would take Eze very, very quickly. Like today, I would take him like today. Or I'd even take him yesterday, let alone today. Eze is the kind of player who will allow you. So I would have preferred getting Eze and a winger. But I feel like if we get Eze, we're not going to also get Rodrygo. It's going to be Eze, and if we get a winger, it's going to be a cheaper winger, like we've done with the goalkeeper and the defenders. I want squad depth. So if you're able to still get a 20 million winger, I'm okay with that. Who can play both sides, that is fine. Eze is a player who can play for you on the left wing as a starter. He can come on. If you want to really go attacking against a really defensive team, and you have you already have Martinelli starting that game, and you have Saka on the right, and you have a strike up front, whoever, whether it's Gyokeres, Sesko, Havertz, whoever, and you have Odegaard in the number 10. Instead of having Rice in the number 8, you can have Rice in the 6 for that game, and you can have an attacking player. So basically you have 2 number 10s. You have Eze and Odegaard on the pitch, both trying to break down a team. Which teams are we talking about? You guys know the teams that we don't score against. You know, the Fulhams, the West Hams at home, the Evertons at home, those kind of teams that always give us problems. And then in addition to that, teams like Aston Villa and teams like Aston Villa and Newcastle will always give us problems. If you have both Eze and Odegaard on the pitch at the same time, and you have a striker, that is really good. You don't have to depend on Odegaard by himself. Those are not the only two positions that Eze can play. If Odegaard is not playing well, Eze can play that position. He can be a number 10 in a game. Or if Eze is starting, Odegaard can come on. If Odegaard is starting, Eze can come on. If Eze is starting, Odegaard can come on. It just gives you a lot more flexibility. Like, that is the kind of exciting signing I would like to have. Players like Eze, a player who Premier League experience on top of that as well. Now, I saw someone asking about his injury record. He always picks up injuries every season. He does miss like 5 to 10 games every season. Especially the last 2 or 3 seasons. Before that, he didn't have an injury from 2021. For like 3 years, he didn't have an injury, but the last 2 seasons, he's had a couple of hamstring injuries. He doesn't miss too many games. He does miss like a month and then comes back and then misses 2 games again, and then he comes back. But I don't think you can look at Eze and say he's injury prone. That is not injury prone. Like, if you look at our team that we have right now, basically everyone was injured last season. Martinelli missed like a month. Havertz missed like 2 months or something. Saka missed like 4 months. Even Rice, he had a broken toe. He missed a few games. Gabriel missed like 4 or 3 months at the end of the season. Saliba had a hamstring injury, didn't play the last games of the season. Basically, everyone had an injury. So I don't think anyone can have a flawless season just like that, like playing 38 games out of 38. We had that before with Gabriel and Ben White and players like that, but even Ben White was injured, Calafio, like everyone will pick up an injury. So you're not expecting Eze to join Arsenal and play for you 38 Premier League games, 5 Carabao Cup games, 7 FA Cup games, and hopefully something like 17 Champions League games. No, that is where rotation comes in. That's why now you look at players like Nwaneri, you have Declan Rice there, you have Merino there. You don't have to ask Eze and Saka to play every single game and players like that. No, but Eze would be an exciting signing. And if it's in installments, 20 million, man, you have to try and get him. You can't let him go to Tottenham. That one I'd not be happy with. I think if it's between Arsenal and Tottenham, we should be getting him. This would be an absolutely exciting signing, man. I'll take him right away for 68 million total. Please, yes, get him at Arsenal. So he has agreed to join Arsenal. He wants to join Arsenal, but it's up to Arsenal to decide how much we want him, because Gyokeres also want to join Arsenal, but we also have to decide how much we want him. There's this as well, other updates on other wingers from Gary Jacobs. Arsenal are stepping up their pursuit of a winger with Eze and Noni Madueke on the shortlist. Please just remove Madueke from that list. Now, the way Madueke can happen is, if we get the way I've just told you guys, if you get Eze, I don't think you're going to get Rodrygo. If you get Eze, I still hope that we get another winger, because they want us to have enough numbers, even with Martinelli and Trossard there. I think at that point, then we might get a cheaper winger like that. But Madueke is not going to be 15 million and 20 million I'm going to talk about. Chelsea are going to want like 40, 45 million. So it is just not worth it at all. Hopefully it's not another loan again. It's just not worth it. If you're asking me to go and get a cheaper winger, most wingers are expensive, I know, in the Premier League, but you'll get someone. The way we've gotten Norgaard from Brentford, these other teams are really good. You can get someone from Fulham. If you're asking me to get a winger and you're asking me between Madueke and Harry Wilson from Fulham, I'd even tell you I'm going to get Harry Wilson from Fulham, because he's a very good striker of the ball. He knows how to take free kicks. I would rather choose a player like that. So I want a player who's been enjoying their football recently and they're on form recently. I don't want another player who's you're not sure about, and he's got a lot of goals last season, but he's in the Conference League. So no, Madueke would not be the answer for me. There's a lot of other cheaper wingers you can go for, especially someone like a Bakayoko from PSV. Go and pay 25 million and get him if you really want a cheaper winger. There's other wingers you can go for. It doesn't have to be specifically from Chelsea or Man United. It doesn't have to be Sancho's or Madueke's, and those cheap players are not going to be cheap anyway. So we are wasting our time in terms of that. Rodrygo, Morgan Rogers, and Igor Paxio are also on Arsenal's list of wide attackers, with Andrea Bata exploring various options. Arsenal have been interested in Anthony Gordon and Nico Williams as well, but the cost of both players has proved prohibitive. So Nico Williams is done. Nico Williams are not going to get Nico Williams, so you might as well just stop talking about him. Anthony Gordon, I think it's impossible as well. You're going to have to pay like 70 million. Are we ready to pay 70 million for Gordon? I doubt. Igor, maybe. Rodrygo, the ball is not in our court. You have to wait and see what happens with him and Real Madrid. Morgan Rogers, probably a possibility since they didn't make Champions League, but Rogers, it's either between you get either Rogers or you get Eze. So I don't think you can get both of them. It's either one of them. And Rogers, just like Eze, very exciting. A player who can play for you left wing, number 10, number 8. It would be an absolutely exciting signing as well, Morgan Rogers. Rogers has played for Man City before. He's been in the Man City Academy. Eze has been in the Arsenal Academy. So Eze used to be an Arsenal player, but we let him go. He went to, I think he also went to Chelsea Academy. He also went and played for Reading. He's played for Crystal Palace. So it will be basically bringing him back home. He's been at Arsenal before. Go and bring him back home. That would be exciting. Maybe that's one of the reasons why he wants to join Arsenal. He was there before. I don't know how he was treated in the academy and all that, but that is a long time ago. The whole thing is different. The managers, and the academy, the managers, the surroundings, everything is different now. So it's not the same people who are there with him, unless there's still a few people. But I think that is one of the reasons why he wants to join Arsenal. So all those are the wingers that you've been linked to. Nico Williams is not going to happen for me. Gordon is not going to happen for me. I'm not really keen on Madueke happening at all. The others I would take. I would take Igor, I'd take Rogers, I'd take Rodrygo, I'd take Eze. I think it's going to be one of them, not two of them. So let's see how it goes. We've always talked about Lookman, but I don't think Arsenal really want Lookman like that unless we've had talks behind the scenes. We've always talked about Rafa Leao, but I don't think Arsenal really want Rafa Leao like that. So these are the ones that we are looking for really. Now, it depends on which kind of winger you want. There's that winger like Eze or Rogers who's going to cut in and, cross the ball, shoot the ball, dribble into midfield and become a number 8, become a number 10 from the left wing. Or do you want the winger that is going to, go to the byline and cross the ball, take on players multiple times like Rafa Leao and Lookman? There's also those kind of players. So it depends on which kind of winger you are looking for. I don't mind wingers like Eze and Rogers who prefer to come into midfield as well and shoot the ball. As I said yesterday, how many shots has Martinelli taken outside the box? I actually cannot remember the last time Martinelli cut into his right foot and shot the ball. The way Saka does, the way Nørgaard does on the other side. Martinelli does not do that. Either crosses the ball, he goes to the left wing, or just passes the ball and then runs in behind. It's not really a cut into his right foot and shoot the ball to the top corner. I rarely see him try that, but Eze can do that for you, and Rogers can do that for you. But again, I'm not saying sell Martinelli. I want Martinelli to stay at Arsenal because there's other things that he can do in the team. So yeah, that is my thinking on that. Next up, let's talk about Rodrygo from Fabrizio. So Fabrizio says Arsenal would really like to sign Rodrygo, but there will be no movement unless the winger informs Real Madrid that he would like to leave. So he did not start yesterday as again, or in the morning earlier today. They went with I think it was Gonzalo, Vinicius. Vinicius scored a good goal. Bellingham also played really well in that game. But yeah, they had those players, and even without Mbappe, even without those players starting, they still prefer to start with Adegule. They still start with Gonzalo up front, with Vinicius, with Bellingham. Rodrygo still doesn't get an opportunity. He had to come off the bench again, and the game at that point was pretty much over. I think it was already 2-0. So far in the Club World Cup for Real Madrid and Rodrygo has started one game and played like 58 minutes, gotten subbed off, and the other 2 games, he didn't come on in one of them, and the other one he came on like with 30 minutes remaining. So he's not really a regular, and that is even without players like Mbappe there. So when Mbappe comes back, Rodrygo will never play because it's going to be Mbappe, Vinicius, and Bellingham in the 10, and then someone else on the right side. So they have a lot of other options. They have Garcia, they have Adegule. It's not really going to be Rodrygo. If it's going to be him, it's going to be rotated a lot. Now, will he be rotated at Arsenal? Probably, but not as much as he would be rotated at Real Madrid. And it's a World Cup here. At Arsenal, he's going to get chances to start. At Real Madrid, I doubt he's going to get that many chances to start. And play 90 minutes, he really will get that. And next year, there's a World Cup coming up. And Real Madrid are not lacking in talent up front. They have Rafinha on the right wing. If Martinelli has a good season, he's going to be in the squad. We saw Ancelotti picking him up recently. They have players like Richarlison. They have players like Joao Pedro. They have Vinicius. They have a lot of players, Brazil. So Rodrygo, if he's not careful, is not going to be starting for them. So it's up to him to decide whether he wants to move or not. So that, as I said yesterday, the ball is not in our court. we have to wait and see whether Rodrygo wants to move or he doesn't. But does Arsenal have the time to wait? That's the problem. Rodrygo can decide in August that, okay, now I want to go. August is too late for us. We need our signings by July. We cannot wait another extra month to wait for Rodrygo. And then what happens if Rodrygo decides, okay, I'm actually going to stay? Then what? Then that's the point where you start going for panic signings like Sterling on the last day. We don't want that situation anymore. So I think maybe Arsenal will tell Rodrygo, if you don't make a decision in the next 1 week or something, 2 weeks, we are going to move on. And maybe that's when we are going to now push harder for players like Eze and players like Morgan Rogers that we've been linked to. So let's see. With Rodrygo, I'd have loved him at Arsenal, but it doesn't seem like he's sure he wants to leave. It doesn't seem like Real Madrid really want him to go. So it's a bit of a waiting game. Just finally on Lewis Skelly. Within weeks of his arrival, Andrea Bata had reached out to introduce himself to the Lewis Skelly camp. Despite being new in the job, he impressed with his knowledge of the player after watching him in training sessions. So Andrea Bata was very impressed with Lewis Skelly right away. And I'm also hearing that Lewis Skelly, usually you let your agent talk and all that, especially for a player's age. This is how you know Lewis Skelly is a real grown-up man, and I cannot wait to see how he does at Arsenal for the next 4 or 5 years, and hopefully longer than that. I'm hearing that Lewis Skelly actually sat down and said, you know what, I have something to say as well. And he sat down and he talked, and the likes of Andrea Bata were like, wow, this kid is up here is amazing. Like, he knows what he wants. Whether it's in terms of money and in terms of his plans for the future, his role in the team. He let his mom talk, but he also did some talking himself. So this is a really young player, but a really experienced player. You can easily see him as a captain in the future. You can easily see him, as an England, so he's already an England starter, he's already a national starter, and last year was basically a kid. So I'm really excited to see how Lewis Skelly does. Will he be featuring 50-50 Calafia at left back, or will he see him in midfield? However he's going to do, hopefully he can have another big season, because last season he was one of our best players. So all the best to Miles Lewis Skelly. A really, really exciting player. He really helped us, man. As I said, we didn't have too many things to be excited about last season, but one of them was Lewis Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri. So let me come to you guys' comments. Let's see what you have to say about all that we've talked about. We've covered the latest on Zubimendi, Nørgaard, Mosquera, Fabrizio confirming that Arsenal fans need to be excited. There's more big signings coming up. And then Gyokeres, Sesko, Eze, Rodrygo, Lewis Skelly, all that. So those are the updates that we've gotten today. It's been a busy week, busier than the previous weeks, for sure. That is for sure. So let's do this. Let's go to the top. Thank you for the super chat, RK. I appreciate you. She says, thank you, Glenn, for the updates. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Let's see. Let's scroll up. Thank you, RK, again. Mubarak says, Mr. Glenn, big up, sir, while Andrea Bata came with the method of swift transfer and Cristhian Nørgaard. I mean, the transfers, some of them happened within one day. Like Norgaard, we heard about him like at 2 p.m. and then by 8 p.m. we got a here we go. So that was great. For a player like also Mosquera, we heard about him very quickly, and then a bid was made, and then we've gotten the likes of Zubimendi done as well. And also in terms of Gabriel and Lewis Skelly, very big. We need to get those kind of deals going. So for me, if you sign Gyokeres today and then you sell Gabriel or Saliba, it doesn't make sense. You have to keep it. You have to keep it going. You have to keep the spine of the team. How are you, RK? Charles says the long existing news now. Sign says Charles, well done, brother. I'm not pleased until a striker is signed there. I will believe Arsenal is cooking this season, says Joel. Yeah, I am happy with how the transfer has gone. It's just okay how the transfer has gone so far. I'm not frustrated. I'm not sad. No, I'm happy that we have actually signed players, and I'm excited to see players like Zubimendi for sure. But exciting, I'm going to be excited when you start signing players like Eze and a striker and players like that. I will also believe we are cooking after that, Joe. We've talked about Mosquera Ayo. These new signings remove predictability that bewitched most of our games and it drew or lost them. Yeah, it removes the predictability in terms of this. Probably the style of play. Maybe not really the style of play, or maybe it could. If you sign Eze, it removes the predictability in terms of style of play because you have 2 number 10s and all that. But also in terms of injuries, it removes the predictability of the subs as well and all that. You don't want to be that predictable where you the one thing that I didn't like about Arsenal until last season, sometimes it was his fault, sometimes just because he didn't have anyone else. You know, we don't want Trossard out, Martinelli in, Saka out, Nørgaard in, White out, Timber in, like the same subs every time. No, you want to take out a defender and bring in an attacking player, have two strikers on the pitch at the same time, something like that, depending on how the game goes. I'm even a fan of, if you're already leading 3-0, take off the striker, bring on Kiwi, an extra defender. I'm also a fan of that. Just don't be predictable, be very different. And these games that you've been drawing in, losing, yeah, we don't actually lose that many games, but we drew a lot, man. Like, we were so close to drawing like almost 20 games in the season. That is crazy. We were so close. Drawing 20 games would be like some sort of record. Chol says, I'm glad to hear that Arsenal are about to hijack Spurs. Target Eberechi Eze. It's going to be good recruitment if we could add Eze in our attack. Eze is more experienced than Rodrygo in Premier League. We can also shift him in position of Odegaard. Yeah, also the left wing, 3 positions that he can play. But why is Arsenal not buying a striker? I guess I don't think we can compare like signing Norgaard and signing a striker. Norgaard is 10 million, so I'm sure that's when they can get it done within a few hours. But for the striker, I'm sure they're going to wait until the money goes down. I wish we could sign a striker today and finish with it, but I'm not going to say anything until before preseason. As long as preseason, when you play against AC Milan and Tottenham, I see the striker there. No problem. I don't care about the order of the signings. If you sign Kepa first and you sign Gyokeres 5th, as long as they're there by preseason, I'm okay with that. So as long as we don't get into August and you're still looking for a striker. Sinclair says, good evening, Glenn. I feel like we just need to sign a striker sooner than later. I hear Gyokeres is going to Man United. Please, let's buy a striker. I don't think he's going to go to Man United. That I don't think is going to happen. I think if it's not us, there's going to be another team that comes in for him. Man United don't have any European football. I don't think it's going to go there. Following you from Liberia says Cooper. Watching from Nigeria says Emmanuel. Brian says it take time to go through what you talked about yesterday, so be brief. No, I made this page and channel to talk about Arsenal, so don't take away that from me. We're still waiting for the signing, and the biggest one from Nigeria, says Emmanuel. We need to finalize our transfer deals before preseason and get ready for our first game against Man United, because we don't need many draws like last season, which cost us. I'm an Arsenal fan from Liberia, but I'm tired with Arsenal being linked to the 2 strikers. Go for the striker who is willing to come to us, which is Viktor. I think, in terms of who wants to come, I feel like Gyokeres wants to come to Arsenal more, although Sesko followed Arsenal on Instagram yesterday, so that was weird as well. Elewuro says, sell Havertz and get both Sesko and Gyokeres. For the people who've been watching the live shows every time, you know what I've been saying about Havertz. Havertz is not going to be sold. We're not going to get the 65 million back, so they're not going to sell him. For how long the confusion between Sesko and Gyokeres continues, I think it's still going to continue until July, maybe even mid-July, hopefully. I mean, it depends. If Sesko just says today, I'm actually going to stay at Leipzig, then it just makes it clear that we just go for Gyokeres. That's the only one remaining. If today Gyokeres decides and says what someone said, Allen just said, actually, I want to go to Man United, then you're only remaining with Sesko. So it depends on if the player makes a move, or if Leipzig become desperate and decide to reduce the fee on Sesko. I think that is what Arsenal is waiting for. They're waiting for one of them to be desperate and reduce the money. Hope this round Arsenal will do something, says Elias. Let's break the bank and bring the 2 strikers, Viktor and Benja, says Boniface. Sesko would be a good signing, says Wilkan. Boniface says for Eze, Arsenal don't have dread since the signing of Sanya. Yeah, I've just remembered that Sanya hairstyle. He had that hairstyle for a long time as well. It was very, very unique. Javinho? I mean, I think Sanya left after Javinho, though. Eze is the best if Rodrygo deal cannot happen. Oh, I agree. Yeah, Eze is fantastic. We need Kudus and Gyokeres only, says Judge. If Partey is leaving, why did he join the team in Spain? In fact, I will be extremely disappointed if Partey leaves. Partey is still an Arsenal player until June 30th. So after June 30th, he's no longer going to be an Arsenal player. So yeah, he's currently in Spain with Gabriel and Skelly and all those guys. But because right now he's still an Arsenal player, his contract is expiring on June 30th. So he was not going to leave before his contract ends. So yeah, he's going to leave after Junta. He's not going to be an Arsenal player. So I saw someone yesterday saying, what if Partey changes his mind and decides to take the 200,000? I think the fact that Arsenal have signed these players already, the offer is already out of the table. So you cannot change your mind right now. It's already done. Unless someone like a Norgaard goes and fails his medical, something like that, and that rarely happens. Between Eze and Kudus is better, and who would you bring to Arsenal? I would bring Eze. I would have Rodgers first, Eze second, Kudus third. So Kudus is a very good player as well. He can also play at Ajax. He used to play almost as a number 10, number 8, and then he can play right wing, left wing. But Eze excites me more. He's been in the Premier League more. His goal returns are higher than Kudus in terms of goals and assists and all that. So I would take Eze. I like Eze's style of play. And Kudus is more of a right-sided player, and Eze is more of a left-sided player. And we need left-sided players. We already have Saka on the right side. But yeah, I mean, if Eze doesn't happen and if you can get Kudus, yeah, but Kudus as well would be more expensive. So yeah, watching from the capital of Africa, Kenya says the Gunners get Gyokeres over Sesko because Sesko demands a lot while Gyokeres is willing to play for Arsenal. Mitoma would be a good option if not expensive, can operate swiftly on the left. The thing with Brighton, though, working with Brighton is so crazy. Brighton are going to ask for 100 million for Mitoma. That's how they do with their players. Thanks for the good work, Dan says. John, thank you. Arsenal should sign Gyokeres and Eze. I'm from Sierra Leone. I would love that, Silver Banks. I would absolutely love that. Gyokeres and Eze. Wow. Please also should forget about Madueke. Yes, please. I agree with you. We want Gyokeres and Eze, says Steve. Tambi from Cameroon. Eze is good and has EPL experience. He will be ready to go. Player, what's his age? Eze is 26, so not even in his prime yet. We need someone like Gyokeres from Zambia, says Joshua. Eze can be a good signing, says Solomon. Eze is the real deal, so a lot of people are agreeing that this guy here is the real deal. A lot of you are agreeing that Eze is the real deal. Exciting plan. He also started playing for England as well. I'm sure. I mean, it might not be a regular because there's a lot of people in that position, but he does play. And Saka's been hanging with him a lot recently, so maybe he's been telling him come to Arsenal instead of going to Tottenham. So, yeah. Let's see. Which ones did I miss? We need to finalize our transfer deals before preseason and get ready for our first game, says Abdul Rahman. Man United, because our first game, I guess I read that one already, right? Boniface says 2013-2014. We signed 6-7 players. 2013-2014. What season was that? That was the season that we were losing games heavily. I remember that season. That's the season that Liverpool destroyed us 5-1 and Man City destroyed us 6-3. I can't remember how many players we signed, though. Can I even remember one player we signed in 2013-2014? And now Cazorla and Giroud was 2012. Oh, I can't even remember who we signed in 2013. Wait. Ozil, right? Ozil was in 2013. I can't remember anyone else, man. I cannot lie to you. I only remember Ozil from 2013. So if that's the last time we signed those kind of players, I mean, let's just check that Boniface. Let's see. A lot of people want a striker. A lot of comments about why is a striker, So yeah, fine enough. I also want us to sign a striker. I mean, right now, the transfer window is just okay. I put a poll on YouTube yesterday asking you guys, and okay, if you're watching right now, let me know in the comments, how do you feel about Arsenal's transfer window right now? Because not everyone agrees. How do you feel about Arsenal's transfer window right now? Are you very frustrated with how it's gone? Or are you just sad by how it's going? Or do you feel like it's just been okay with the signing so far and you feel like you're going to get the players that we need? Or let me just tell you guys the poll. I can't remember word by word what I said in the poll, but yeah, Gyokeres is the best, says Wesley. Let me just check what I actually said in the poll. So, and I give you guys the results so far. So where is it? Let's go here. Let's go to the poll. So this was the poll. How do you feel about Arsenal's transfer window so far? So you can comment and tell me. So Zubimendi is done. Kepa is done. Norgaard is done. Mosquera is in the process of being done. Gabriel and Skelly have signed new contracts. Tierney, Jorginho, Partey have left on free transfers. Neto and Sterling's loans have ended. So I forgot to add yesterday that we've also sold Marquinhos for like 5 million. But yeah, it was very hard to remember Marquinhos. He's never really played for Arsenal. So yeah, do you think it's been fantastic so far? Do you think it's been just okay? You feel like you're going to do the business anyway? Do you think it has been underwhelming, or do you think it has been frustrating? So far, okay, let me wait for you guys' answers, and then I'll tell you so far what people have been voting for. It is good, but we need number 9 to be completed, says George. Eze, welcome you. I'm from Kenya. Any updates on Norgaard and Mosquera, defender from Valencia, says Steve. Yeah, I'll go through that again. Watching from Nairobi, good signing for the Gunners, but about adding Eze to the team is also okay. I would love him. Ibrahim says, yes, we feel okay. We must get this player. So as you guys tell me how you feel about the transfer window so far, let me recap as there's some questions from people like Steve about the players that we are linked to. So which one was the first one? So Zubimendi. So for Zubimendi, Fabrizio tells us that Zubimendi, everything is done. The contract is signed. The medical is okay. Cristhian Norgaard wanted to join Arsenal. He had preferred to join Brentford, to stay at Brentford first, but he really wanted to join Arsenal, so he said yes immediately. Valencia have rejected the first offer for Cristhian Mosquera, but Fabrizio believes that around 20 million, 25 million euros, which is around maybe 17, 18 million pounds, will be enough to get the deal done, which is very cheap. Fabrizio also says that get ready, Arsenal fans. It's been a busy summer already. The best is yet to come before Arsenal want to do, because Arsenal want to do way more. Arsenal are ongoing conversations with both Sesko and Gyokeres, so nothing much has changed there. We are still in conversations with both of them. We are pursuing a winger. Eze is on the list, as discussed yesterday. His release clause is 60 million, but I heard that he's going to be 68 million total, 8 million add-ons. Arsenal are stepping up their pursuit of a winger. Eze has been spoken about. Madueke has been spoken about. Rodrygo, we are waiting to see whether he wants to leave Real Madrid. Rodgers has been mentioned. Paxi has been mentioned. Gordon, Nico Williams have all been mentioned. I doubt these two are going to happen though. So yeah, Rodrygo, we are waiting. And then, yeah, Skelly, Andrea Better did a lot to keep Skelly at Arsenal. So that is the latest from today. It has been a busy week. Owachi says the transfer is not yet exciting. Ricky says transfer is just okay, but the main key figure is a striker, which is Gyokeres. Yeah, I think if you get a striker, it definitely changes everything. I feel even the ones who are saying it's just okay right now, even the ones who are saying it's underwhelming right now, I'm sure if you get Eze and Gyokeres, that goes to if you feel frustrated right now, it means you feel like the transfer is like a 1 or 2 out of 10 so far. If you're feeling underwhelmed, it could be like a 3, 4 out of 5 out of 10 transfer window. If it's just okay, you feel like it's average, 5, 6 out of 10. If you're saying it's fantastic so far, you feel like we've done great business so far, it's like a 7, 8 out of 10. Now, if you add Gyokeres and Eze, it potentially becomes a 10 out of 10 if you get those players that we really, really need in the team. There's more than 200 of you watching on Facebook and YouTube. I appreciate you. The Arsenal transfer is frustrating, says Ahmad. I personally don't need any Chelsea players, says George. I think so far the transfer has been okay, says Tambe, and I'm optimistic the needed striker and winger will come before the preseason. I agree with you as well. Bobo says we need all the firepower, which is a striker and a winger. I would have wished it would have been a striker, winger, and a number 10, 8, or a backup for Saka. I wanted 3. We are doing great, says Emmanuel. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take them if they can sign good players, says Nasawar, as long as it's before preseason, though, because we need to be prepared. You saw our schedule. I mean, the transfer window is continuing all the way until September, but you can't wait for then. By September, we'd have already played Man United, we'd already played Liverpool, and yeah, we are going to be close to playing teams like Man City. So you have to be ready by then, because if you're not ready, you could very easily lose to Man United and Liverpool, and you're 6 points behind Man City and Liverpool by the 3rd game. You don't want that to happen. So you have to be ready from the first game. Mardi says, I'm frustrated as we are dragging and wasting time solving our striker position issue, our striking position issue. They are quick at getting defenders and midfielders. Let's get Eze and Gyokeres and get set for preseason. So far, 30 33% are saying they're frustrated. So most of the votes are saying they're frustrated. Oh, wait, is it? No, that is wrong. Number one is just okay. So 37% have said just okay. 33% have said it's frustrating, so very close. And then 15% have said it's been underwhelming, 14% fantastic. So most people are saying it's just okay, and the other half is saying it's been frustrating. So yeah. I'm from Saudi. Gyokeres is the best Arsenal transfer. I can give him 9 out of 10, says Arnold. Steven from Uganda, we need a striker fast before this June, says Steven. I don't think it's going to happen in June. I don't think we are going to announce anyone in June. I think everything is going to happen in July. So even announcing Zubimendi and announcing Norgaard, I think we're going to have to wait until July. Not too many days to wait, just next week. But yeah, in terms of the striker, no one knows how long it's going to take. Hopefully not too much. But this season, I'm sure Arsenal will cook something to have a title. Hopefully, man. It's not going to be easy, man. Liverpool are signing top players. Man City, I watched them against Juventus yesterday, looking very sharp, man. And Haaland didn't even start. Shaki didn't even play. Foden came on, but they still looked very good, man, in terms of the forward players. So it's not going to be the same Man City from last season. I'm very sure of that. So you're going to need to win your games. Basically, from the first 10 games, you need to win like 8 of them. I was saying 9 out of 10, but because of the schedule, you're playing Man City, Liverpool, Man United, Newcastle, Nottingham, you're going to need to win at least 8 of them, and you have to try your best not to lose to Man City or Liverpool at all. So not going to be easy, man. But thank you guys for watching. As always, we'll have another video coming up if there's any more news, but hopefully we do hear some more done deals over the weekend. Hopefully we hear a breakthrough on Eze. Let's wait to hear the latest on players who are going to leave Arsenal. What's the latest on Zinchenko, Kivio, Nelson, Fabio Vieira. Let's wait and see what is happening with all of them. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.